Yeah, I hate this.
The desert twin strike, and that's because we use our trucks, we get it out there in the brush.
Tank's done. Wrong size lug nut on there. Fuck. Oh, fucking people. stuck on there. You're gonna have to give her some persuasion. What do we have here, folks? Drum brakes. What we got here? Wow. How about that? Alright, what we got here are drum brakes. If you don't know brakes, this is a drum. It's not on there very tight, which means they probably need adjusting, which honestly, there's not much brake pad left. Actually, they're called shoes. This is a wheel cylinder. This is all your hardware here. It's a lot easier to deal with. It's a lot easier to deal with disc brakes. Not only is it easier to deal with them, they're actually better. So we might be doing something about this rear axle. I need to check the... Maybe we can get all the parts from another and swap them over to disc brakes. And we do have a spacer here. I don't know if you guys see that, but there's actually a spacer on here. Looks like a 2-inch spacer, and probably how they were able to fit these 30. That's a 31. Probably how they were able to fit these 31-inch tires. So we're going to need to be marking this down as something we need to take care of. Rear brakes. Honestly, I'm not looking forward to that, because truly what's probably going to happen is I'm going to swap in an entire brake system, which means I'm going to have to take this axle partially apart, pull this axle shaft, pull all this out, or swap an entire axle in there. 354 I have with disc brakes. 373, which I doubt this is what this is, I don't have. Good thing about the Grand Cherokee is there's tons of them in the junkyards, so I can go get these these parts in a junkyard. Let's get underneath this thing, and I know the light is not perfect, but let's just do a quick roll by, so to speak, and let's see what other kind of issues this Jeep has. This Jeep was a high school kid's, but they were a well-to-do family, and Dad took care of it. So there's a pinion seal leaking. This is the pinion seal here. Goes around here. This is not horrible, but I definitely want to check the fluid level and see what's happening. We've got, that's pretty tight. A little bit of play, but it doesn't concern me. One thing I see right here too is the rear control arms. Actually, they don't move, but they're pretty rotted out back here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Right here. You know, I've seen a lot of cars go a long way with control arms like this. what really matters is there's a sleeve here and the bushings in there, but personally I would probably like to change those. We'll drive it. This is not a major concern. We'll drive it and see what happens, and we'll go from there. We got sway bars intact for the rear. That's good. Nice, what appears to be a fairly new exhaust. See, we do have a leaking transfer case. Oh shit. And we're having difficulties. Here we are. We're back, I think. So we do have a leaking transfer case. It's kind of hard to see, but I think it's leaking at the half. Basically what we need to do is clean this up real good and just wait and watch for the leaks, exactly where they come from. I do see the output seal is wet. I don't think that's the issue. I think this thing's actually leaking between the cases right here. This transfer case splits in half, and there's a seal. Actually, it's gasket material that goes all the way around, and I think it's probably leaking from there. So it's not bad. We'll clean it up and see what's happening. Hopefully we won't have to get into that. So let's move on up. We're getting lower here because it didn't raise the front. We got, we know we have transmission issues. I mean, that's a given, So we aren't really terribly concerned about what the hell just happened. There it goes. So we aren't terribly okay, there's the one we want. We're not terribly concerned about the leaks, right? We know we got issues. This fucking gimbal pisses me off. Oh yeah, there we go. Hey, that actually works. So we know we got leaks. That's that. Everything looks kosher. This sucks. This is not going to be good. Not at all. Not going to be good footage. Alright guys. So on these rear brakes, what happens is, this is the shoe right here. The pad is actually real thin. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's actually a brake pad on this backing plate. This side's pretty good. So what happens is the pad actually wears, and then the drum, this guy, doesn't fit on there as snug as it needs to. When you hit the brakes, these things expand out and push on the outside of this drum. So if your pedal is feeling spongy or just kind of going to the floor a little bit more than it used to, this would be the first thing I would check if you have drum brakes on the back, because the drum brakes set the depth of the pedal, if that makes any sense. So if you've got a gap here between the drum, this shoe needs to come out so much further for the brakes to grab. But if it's close, the brake pedal doesn't have to go down very far to push this shoe out, so where it rubs against the drum. Make any sense? I hope so. So, two things can happen right now. One, I can replace all this and put it back together and run it and adjust the damn thing every so often, which is fine. It's part of maintenance. I don't really mind. I've run these for years. The thing about it is the disc brakes are a lot easier to deal with. A lot easier. But so here's what you want to do. You want to put this on. This thing's kind of wobbly. You see it just, we don't want that. What you want to do is you want to put it on to where it's snug. And when you get it on there, it's actually kind of, you almost have to push to snap it into place. Walk it on. You don't want any wiggle there. That wiggle is brake pedal play. So you want to expand the shoes out to where they rub on the inside of the drum. That's achieved by this screw. So if I turn the screw, make sure you pay attention to which way you're turning it. Turn the screw, it expands and pushes these shoes out. Let's see what we got. Still has play. Let's try this. Almost. Oh. Too much. Ah. Perfect. Now I have to repeat the process on the other side too. Okay. Something fishy about these nuts. What? He didn't say that. Chrysler thing, actually. What in the fuck? Oh, man. And that's something. So here we are on the other side. We've run into a slight issue. This thing's being stubborn. Generally, it just takes a couple hits. What you want to do is you want to hit it here, and move over to the other side there. Sometimes I've seen people tap it around. You know, I don't know how much that matters, but generally what happens is it's just not been off for a while. And between the axle, which is right here, these studs and this, and the drum, it just gets corroded on there. So now, this is interesting because I'm seeing two things here. Yeah. Yes, sir. What's this? Shit. This right here is a dangling part. It's literally just been worn to nothing. Now it's supposed to go around here, around this piece, and hook on to right here. I don't even know if you guys could see that. To right here. It's not. That's the reason these brake shoes aren't worn near as bad as the other side. In fact, these are actually practically brand new. So we definitely need to mark that on the list as something needs attention on the list. All right. So, what we've got here, just to recap, is broken cable. It's actually easy to replace. Here it is. So, what a day. Everything's dying on me, guys. Literally everything. So what I'm thinking here, oh, that one's good. Step back. That one's good. So that's obviously an issue. But another thing I'm actually seeing is this is it's a new exhaust. Everything's new. All the way back, the entire exhaust is new. So that's good. Finally, something positive. Let's go to the front brakes before my battery dies. We're gonna go new nuts. Okay, friends. So, this is a brake measuring tool. And it works just like that. You know, there's hardly any brake pads that come 12 millimeter, just on your Europeans, really. But 12 millimeter down to 2. So, what you want to do with this tool, it's actually really simple to use, and it basically, you pick the one that fits in there the snuggest. So basically, I've done this a lot. I don't need this tool anymore. I can pretty much guess and look at them and tell you. But what we're looking at, 4 millimeters. So what they say is 3 millimeters is time to change. 2 millimeters is definitely, 4 millimeters. This thing needs new front brakes. There's no way around it. We're gonna try the rotor on this thing. I'm looking at it. It looks pretty thin. It's really thin. Honestly, it needs new rotors too. So really what we want to do is put new rotors and pads on it. Now, I don't know if you can see this. That's an issue. Right here. Can you see in there? Let me stabilize you. Right here. That translates to a lot of play. I actually have this entire steering setup that I'll probably switch over. Once again, we've got the coil spacer. So I think what I'm thinking here is go get Grand Cherokee, the V8 coils, put them on the front, swap these to the back, and maybe swap some lower control arms and try to get away with it. I think it'll lift it up enough. The question is, do we want to fix this to where it's super nice and spend a ton of money on it because it is in great shape, or do we want to fix it for an off-road beat the hell out of? Because I got a feeling this one would be great, but the body is just that. So we better write that on our paper. Paper just keeps growing. This damn gimbal, piece of shit. Alright, tie rod ends, front brakes, and rotors. I'd be willing to bet, I got to put the tires on to check it, but I'd be willing to bet these ball joints are bad too. I'll tell you, it would be nice, find some Rubicon axles. TJ Rubicon axles. Get Dana 44 front and rear. That'd be nice. Anybody that wants to donate a set of axles, Dana 44s, out of a TJ or an LJ, I'd be more than happy to take them off your hands. You can write them off on your taxes. So this looks like a pretty stout shock. I mean, these things really are beefy. Really, really are beefy. Huh. Well,